Hey everyone. Amit, we have been talking about Web3 and the future and how internet is going to be in the coming decade or in the coming time. Let's talk very specific about what is the future of e-commerce. And let's start with the simplest thing that comes to mind is the conversational technology, like chatbots and things like that. So what's your perspective on how this is going to progress and this is going to help in the future?
Yeah, I think the move is from content leads to commerce, which is a traditional approach to marketing and ads and so on. Almost a broadcast mechanism from the brand now to what is called as interactive media, which allows the other side to have a conversation, and to actually talk back to the brand voice. And so whether it's a chatbot or a call center, call, or an AI concierge that's dealing with, a customer via the phone or inside a metaverse, all of these situations need to be handled in an intelligent way. What does that mean? It means that the entity on the other side of the customer interaction should know everything that is needed to be known about that customer and about everything the business has and is doing and will do and has done that's relevant to that customer, and being able to intelligently have a conversation about what that customer needs and finally able to fulfill that goal, and dispatch to others if needed, dispatch to other departments or dispatch to other services or products or what have you.
Yeah. Okay. So now, in summary, we want something which is data driven, that the initial data or the data set we have can pull in certain requirement gaps that we need not even ask the customer for, and then just directly get into the problem which the customer is facing, or whatever the conversation is, and have more direct and realistic conversation instead of going into loops of if and but and this and that.
Yeah, and all of that, those nuances as they are also part of it, right? So as people have conversations, that should be trackable. If it's a person through who the conversation occurs, as well as if the conversation occurs between a digital interface and the person, the customer. So whether it's a phone conversation that's done through a conversational AI that's understanding the words and understanding the context, and there's lots of very, very exciting technology that's coming in this space, right? That's able to do this kind of understanding and conversation, and multiple conversations and multiple contexts and context switching between conversations at the same time, because that's the more natural way of talking, So we're getting there. It's definitely interesting, and that those technologies will definitely get incorporated, as well as I think a very much more fundamental aspect of conversational commerce is the fact that a single conversation doesn't lead to commerce. Multiple conversations and being able to track the multiple conversations across space and time, and then attributing appropriately to this chain of events the value of the particular outcome, such as a sale or a profit generation or whatever it is, both in the short term and in the long term. These LTV modelings and this attribution modeling and all this fun stuff becomes possible and is a requirement to really take advantage so much of this new technology,
That makes a lot of sense, that we should be able to track, not only just have the conversation, but to track it across multiple avenues and get the hold of it. As you mentioned, a single conversation usually does not lead to commerce. So in that field, you said that, as you mentioned, we have so many innovations coming up, so many cool things coming up. And I'm guessing the role of AI is going to be much more in-depth now, much more innovative, much more informative as to what, not just like extracting data and just throwing it out.
Yes, it becomes facilitative. right? It becomes
it's become
what I like to call human in the loop AI. Because you're in service of somebody, whether that's a buyer or a seller or whatever that function is, and you in the middle are facilitating that particular thing, an action, an event, and so on. So now your role becomes co-creative. You're no longer trying to just get something so you get something. It's really enabling more of many people in your network to get what they want, and you obviously are facilitating all of that, so you're valuable as well, right? That becomes the mantra. This becomes the digital connective tissue which enables conversational, collaborative, cooperative commerce.
And as we talk about this is going to scale up tens and hundreds of times in a very short duration when it hits it. So what are your thoughts on scaling this?
Scaling what in terms of
when there's a human in the loop,
or in general our approach? So again, it's keeping to the simplicity of what is required is how you scale. I don't do our tech doesn't do what other people do, in the sense that we only do what is not being done today, which is the cooperative connectivity part, right? So we actually are very, very scalable because everyone just plugs in and does their own thing, right? The point was that there was no way to track this activity and derive value from it in a meaningful way because of the fragmentation that has been created by the so-called platform economy, the internet economy, right? In order to create an actual internet economy, you need an actual internet operating system. Right? So that operating system, however, doesn't do very much other than make possible for you to do whatever you want to do. So itself, like I said, it only acts like a facilitator. It just connects people together and facilitates data transfer and exchanges and transactions and whatnot.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, and it clarifies the scale point as well, because when you see it from other perspective, it looks like there's a hell ton of data there, and then it might become haphazard, or it might become difficult. But if you see it from the simplistic view, it's very easy. It looks like, okay, this is the natural thing, and this is how it progresses.
It creates a knowledge graph. It creates an automatically. So that's why we call OpenTangle more of a knowledge generation, not knowledge representation. Knowledge representation is post fact. You've already missed it. Now you want to find out how to represent it because it's not what you've created. Whereas knowledge generation is creating knowledge. You create new knowledge, which is what is value. New knowledge, which requires new participants to have exchanged and have some value in that exchange. So this natural knowledge graph is much more superior to a so-called blockchain or any other thing, because this is direct value co-creation between human beings using any and all so-called technologies, because the technology has no meaning in it. It's only the human connection and the exchange that has any meaning. Even if AIs are transacting amongst each other and one AI makes a lot of money, it is the owner of the AI that feels happy. The AI doesn't care, doesn't know what it's doing. Right? So it's ludicrous to think that Google has created a sentient AI when the AI, the content itself doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know what it is. So how can it be intelligent? Right? Forget about it's not even artificial intelligence. It's stupid data processing, right? Pattern matching. And we are being fooled into thinking there is logic there. It's like looking around and saying there is some logic going on in the world today. There is no logic. It's all independent people doing, things, right? And it appears like there is something happening as such, but there is nothing happening. There is only independent events, which you must track and then derive meaning from based on the people that derive meaning from it.
That clarifies a lot on how conversational commerce is going to be. And what are the actual building blocks of it, the base of it, which makes it very simple to understand. Thanks Amit, thanks so much on this clarifying talk.
Sure, we'll talk more.